All right, cool. So I didn't even see this. Like after like 12 yesterday, which was like the second to last H4 closure on EU, I just stopped looking at it. Um, just because it was Friday. It's like I'm pretty much expecting um nothing to happen for the next 4 hours. But I mean, as we can see on EU, you didn't see much. Like for the last 4 hours. In fact, it just looked pretty stupid, as you can see here. Right, our last 4 hours. Right, it didn't do much. It was what, a 35, 15 pip move. And it just ranged in between there. But what's worrying me is like, look at this fucking closure. Look at this. That's it could be misleading. Just depends on Monday's closure play out. But it's like, look, last time we got something like this. Look at what happened. All right. So if this wants to continue, we're gonna know straight off the bat on Monday, 100%. Because if we break this low due to structure, honestly, if we even significantly break this low here, then you're gonna see this start dying. I do not want to see this. I do not want to see this low get broken, because due to structure laws, if you see that break, then that's a wrap for the buy bias. It's over. Like, that's it. But obviously, due to the fact that we actually did get a break of structure here, right, there is still the possibility that we could see a bounce back into equilibrium, at least without breaking structure. But the issue then would be the fact that pretty much this, if it reaches the equilibrium, this low will be very close to this one. So you then want to assume that you could see a reversal. So it's pretty worrying until I saw this. Well, actually, even when I saw this, like literally the last 2 hours when that DXY was open, right? This, right? Massive drop. And as we can see, right, equal lows present, equal lows taken. And if anything, we haven't even filled that gap, but that's irrelevant. But like just looking at H1 here, it's like, look, we've shown that we're bearish 100% on this, but are we going to get a reaction here? Right? Pretty sure that doesn't look that good. Yeah, okay, so even that 2 hour. So like this is a big obstacle that this has to go through in order to make sure that we're continuing this bias. It just really depends on how we open and how we play out on Monday. Because EURUSD is very confusing, very misleading. Obviously, I want that buy bias. I do want to see at least this high taken out because that's my initial target. Official swing target from the low, which was 70. So it's like 100 pips. But it's just like, yeah, I want to see something that will give me a reason to want to continue this bull bias. Right, whatever it may be. And so pretty much hopefully now what you have to assume, right, is that this is now your newly formed low, newly formed high, right? And you obviously want discounted pricing, but the issue here is the fact that this structure break. And it's super clean, and when it's super clean, you're most likely going to see that it works. So I really want to just wait and see how that open is, and then let the first couple H4s play out, because if we break back above this high, then I feel like this buy bias will be good. All right, especially because we could potentially see an SC anywhere in here. Right, there's obviously inefficient pricing on M10, 6, 5, 4. Not really much. I do see that M10, but nothing else seems really, besides this, nothing seems really too appealing. All right, so accounting for M3, M10, all right, there's two possibilities. We're gonna bounce off inefficiency fill, or we're gonna bounce off M3FC, or you're just gonna see it straight up take the lows, all right? And as we can see now, it's like, it's very tempting to want to take these, and you'll probably see them on Monday, but I probably won't take them just because I'm really just, I don't want to see the outcome of that. That single structure break will let alone, well, obviously it's meant to continue structure to the downside, and there's always the option that we can get a bounce anywhere in here and get a small break of structure and then take it. But it's just, this is such a clean BOS to me that I really want to see something convincing, especially during trading hours, or else it's really not going to be worth my time. Because for all we know, right, this could be just taking out liquidity, coming back to SC, and then taking it to the moon. Right, although structure doesn't really support that just yet, like all this could really do is give a bounce, structure, inefficiency fill here, and then continue lower. But yeah, it's super tempting. Like I really want to keep saying that this bearish, I mean, I want to keep, saying that this was a bearish market, but it's just like I don't want to assume that just yet because we're still technically considered in a range. All right, but the cool thing here though about the XY is that the weekly close very, very, bearish. Right, we now have an engulfing, and then now we have, pretty much an inverted hammer kind of, which is good to downside because now we have closed below equilibrium. All right, just based off of those parameters there, that's your range, and we're now below the equilibrium, which is a good thing because now you can maybe assume, as long as structure supports it, you could assume downside still, but it's, right now it's just a waiting game. Yeah, just look at this range. It's so ugly. Like, I'm glad that we're in from the highs, especially because I haven't really marked up the XY. So let me just do that for you guys right now. Right, so as you can see here, that bounced off of, I believe it was H2. So it wasn't this wasn't the cleanest bounce, but this is what I was saying. I was saying this 50%. And then I was also looking at potentially that inefficiency fill right there, if you can see it between those two wicks, inefficiency. So obviously I was waiting to see what would happen. All right, and it looked a lot cleaner on EU, which is why I showed you that. All right, let's go to EU at this time. It was at 12:09. No, the May 7th. I believe it was somewhere around here. Yeah, well, it looked so much more cleaner here, which is why I showed you guys this specific one. And I'm pretty sure Jason showed this chart too. I don't know if he sent it in the group chat, but I think this was like an M1 SC play. Yeah, so I think this is what a lot of people played, which is perfect. Because I mean, look, you play that 2.5 pip to the low, but now you're playing a massive move. You're pretty much playing a whole trend shift at that point. So as you can see, that would be up 66.4 pips, but it would have peaked out at over 100. So that's already a 50-to-1 trade. But yeah, I mean, it's solid. I showed you guys the markups, so just feel free to check those out. But right now, I mean, I want to stick to the bullish bias unless we obviously see that low break. DXY looks way more bearish than this looks bullish. So it's just, that's kind of why I just want to wait for Monday. So yeah, guys, do you have any questions? What's good? I don't trade AU, so I don't got anything for it. H1 inefficiency, would you consider that POI? H1 inefficiency, where? Are you talking about this? You're talking about this right here. So even though I don't want to see that low break, this is, I mean, this would be considered a deep retracement, especially because we've already shown, right, the inability to break beyond these lows. And the fact that I pretty much picked an SC off of this candle. So if this becomes invalidated to me, then I don't really want to be bullish on that. If anything, you might just see a reaction to the upside and then continue lower. It's just due to structure here. This is my issue, is the structure here. If we wouldn't have, you know, created this whole move, if we wouldn't have created that whole move, and pretty much from here, we just immediately came down to inefficiency, then I would have liked to take that. But since we solidified, quote unquote, support, quote unquote, don't quote me on that, I don't say that, and we got a reaction to the upside, you know, now this is my solidified low because we got an impulse reaction that took out structure. So I don't want to see that low break. Fuck that low breaking, you know? Or else now you'll be, if that breaks and you do look for this inefficiency pricing, right? I would assume a reaction to structure and then continuation. Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, structure is number one. Always. So like best case scenario, it's like you literally just see inefficiency fill there. That would be best case. You see inefficiency and then just take off. Let's see how, let me see how, could you explain your long entry? It's on the markups, bro. Like I'm telling you, you just joined. So your job is to finish the course multiple times, take notes over it, study it for at least a couple weeks. Then look at the previous markups, which is here. All the previous markups, take your notes, then start conducting the assignment that I stated that you should give me every week. And that goes for everybody. And then if you still have questions, then you can ask me. Like, you know, you just joined and coming in and trying to ask me, could you explain your long entry? You know, that's kind of like, I can't really explain to you what you don't know yet. So you need to know the stuff before I can even try to explain it to you. And that goes for anybody that's new. Like if you're 1 week, 2 weeks in, like, bro, you just started. Like you haven't, you don't know anything yet. Because unless it clicks for you that fast, amazing, go make your bread. But it's like majority of the time, I've seen that it doesn't take, you know, 2 weeks. It takes way longer than that. But yeah, how's everybody doing though? You got 18 people in here? Let my week was chilling. I mean, I did 2 of my assignments, 2 of my finals. I have 2 left. But yeah, I'm pretty much done with school for semester, and then I do got to take some summer classes. Yeah, how was everybody's week though, in terms of trading? cool thing about DXY is that I really love that reaction. Only take EJ on the schematic, EJ. Five-minute, where are you talking about this one? The one that Raj cut? Or are you talking about this? Let's see. Cool. Pre-supply selling climax. No secondary test. One secondary test. All right. Considered LPS. Sign of strength. Cool. Yeah. Not really a clean schematic. But when you're thinking Wyckoff here, yes. All right. Preliminary supply. Selling climax. Selling climax. Right. Selling climax. Cool thing about selling climax that you want to see is obviously that peak in volume that, the pretty much the max. After that, automatic rally. Automatic rally. All right, no secondary test. Well, actually, there was a secondary test. Technically here, first secondary test. This isn't phase B1 yet. Still phase A. Then you get your secondary phase B. Secondary test phase B. All right, and then from there, you just get a reaction. Technically LPS. All right, no second LPS shown, but you do see a clearance of highs, meaning you have a sign of strength, right? But notice that this is still stalling. That's just because demand hasn't shown itself. Once demand shows itself, that's when you see the upside move. So to finish schematic here, fuck. Cool. Last LPS, and then that's your completed scheme. See, so this is a good point. When I always tell you guys, pay attention to logic. Don't just try to copy and paste a schematic, because you will not see a schematic that looks exactly like this. You will rarely ever see that, because like, let's look at an accumulation. Let's look at a schem too. Right, so you usually, in a schem 2, you see LPS1, LPS2, and then SOS. But here, you saw LPS1, and then you saw an SOS. Right? And then you see a stallment due to the fact that there's no demand shown, as you can see. Then demand starts showing itself, and that's when you see actually momentum pick up. Yo, that's dope. How did you do that? What the hell? I mean, I wouldn't consider this an LPS, because look, damn, hold on. Because this low breaks that low. Where does an LPS here or here? Pretty much an LPS is a Wyckoff way of saying a higher low, like just to be real. So if I consider that in LPS, then that's a higher low, meaning price will never continue. And then that means that these lows would have been solidified and we wouldn't have seen this last move. But we saw this last move, which is your BU LPS. Actually, that would be considered SOS. Right, so sign of strength is not only your breakup structure, but it's also your sign of strength, which is your sign of demand. And your sign of demand is shown here in these large bullish candles, right? So in terms of structure, that would have been here, then their LPS here, and then that's when the full demand shown itself, right? So when you're thinking SOS, right? Sign of strength. That means that you're seeing some type of demand shown, right? So as we can, like I showed you guys here, there's no demand shown in this entire range of volume. Then you see this singular initiation of bullish volume, right? After you see that initiation of bullish volume, you see your sign of strength come into play. So that's not only just the BOS here, that's the actual quote unquote sign of strength. Does that make sense? So you see how it's all volume and logic based? Like this is like the point that I try to make to you guys. Like I have not seen EJ in 2 weeks, but I just broke down that entire thing in less than 5 minutes. Because I understand logic, and this has become pretty much second nature to me. Like I know what I'm looking for and I know what I'm seeing, which is exactly where you guys want to be in the next couple months. Let's see. Like you just saw this whole entire breakdown in less than 5 minutes on a pair I haven't seen in 2 weeks. So when trying to catch this, obviously there must have been a POI that you tried to play this off of, maybe. Well, yeah, maybe, because this did take out previous liquidity. So as soon as you see the take out previous liquidity, then you would want to expect an entry or a reaction. So that's cool. I mean, that set up pretty nice. And if anything, this last LPS here kind of tapped into inefficient pricing there. Pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, as you can see it now, it's like, this does not look like any scam ever. But due to the fact that we understand how Wyckoff works, and it's not just, trying to copy fucking BBBR, right? Nothing wrong with that. But the people that try to teach that don't even know how to teach it. The people that created it, they don't really teach it. They just do it, So when people copy it, it's incomplete. So that's why I kind of stopped showing that. Because I got asked on the videos, like, why don't you do that on the videos anymore? It's like, one, they aren't my concepts to teach. And two, it's like, it's very misleading when you don't know the logic. If you knew the logic, then, using that BBBR is actually very effective. Right? But I mean, you can see it here. It's clear, like the actual phases, like as you can see, phase A, phase B, phase C, phase D. All right, let me see. Okay, cool. Cool, so this is your phase A, right? Your phase B ends right before the first LPS, etc. So this entire STB, phase B, phase C done there. And then the last is the LPS before the SOS, or the move before the SOS, and then your last BU LPS, and then continuation. So that's your phase D, A, B, C, D, and then E. Right, I don't want to do the letters, that'll take too long, and I'm not really feel like doing that right now. I have a Apple keyboard. Let me see if I can do that. What is that? Yo, what the hell? What does that do? What the hell? What is that? How do you do that? Like, what is it? What is that? Yeah, but like, what is this? Like, it appeared, a random LPS just appeared out of nowhere on my screen. See, why is that appearing? No, it's not. See how it's doing that? Yeah, that's weird. Oh yeah, probably. So if I do, oh, okay, it was option B. Yeah, you're right. Oh, that's cool. Cool little trick. Mentorship by Alex confirmed. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, what's good with you guys? I mean, that was a good little breakdown. You guys now see it. Like I said, I've never seen this chart, but I just broke it down for you in like 5 minutes. And this is where I want you guys to be. And this is where you will be if you actually practice everything that I show you. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, because we still have 17 people in here. So I mean, I know you guys have questions. The thing is, though, can you answer that question through the videos, or do you actually have to ask me that question? So. Because I mean, that was a pretty good discussion. Who here was in the discussion from Wednesday? That discussion from Wednesday. I didn't record the last part just because I don't like recording myself talking shit about people. So not the part that we talked about off screen, like off recording. Let's talk about what we talked about in the recording, which is that whole like, when I asked you, does it bother you? Yo, hold on. Oh yeah. Anyways, yeah, y'all can answer that while I'm doing something really quick. Let's see. Wait, did y'all hear my question? Did y'all know what I asked? Or did y'all hear what I asked? How did you narrow down your pairs? So I used to trade EU, AU, UCAD because that was pretty much what I had seen success with over the past like 6 to 10 months, pretty much. I didn't analyze all my trades, but I knew like, I was trading this, and this. Like predominantly I was trading this, and this because it fit the hours I wanted to trade, and I wouldn't have to pretty much go through a sleepless night in order to catch moves. Like that way I don't have to trade London. Because London here opens at 2 a.m, and fuck that. I don't sleep beyond like 12 or 1 most of the time. Or else like times like now, like if I would have sleep like at 3, 4 a.m. right now, I'd be dead right now. Or even 2 a.m, I'd be dead. Yeah, I don't like that. But like you see, you Europeans, even though you guys don't get access to pretty much the Wednesday calls unless you stay up, bro, you guys are literally in a perfect time zone. London opens for you guys at 8 a.m, right? So you literally trade from pretty much 8 a.m. all the way to like 5 p.m. Literally a 9 to 5. Dead ass. A 9 to 5. I wish I could trade 9 to 5, because then you're trading both sessions. You could even narrow it to only trade overlap, which is 7 to 10, and then observe the trades for 2 hours after, and that's what that's like 1 p.m. to like 4 to 5 p.m. I believe. My overlap time is at 7. Yeah, 7 p.m. I mean 1 p.m. for you, yeah. Yeah, because where's everybody from? Like I know Alessandro's from Italy, Alex is from London. I know Rav is from London. Or Rav. Not Rav, Rav. Um is what's his name in here? Is Carlos in here? I think Carlos is no, I don't think he's here, but I think he's what's it called? I think he's from Spain. Shut up. Estonia. Cool, that's lit. Yeah, I still am recording. I think people like hearing these conversations, which is why I recorded them. Because like, yeah, I'm teaching you guys this stuff, but also like I want to connect with you guys like personally. Like I want to know you guys. Like I said, like I don't want to be your mentor. I want to be your homie. Lithuania. You live in Chicago. Oh, okay. So you're in CST. Lit. You're in CST. I thought you were actually in Lithuania. I think I remember when Arturo first told me about you. Like he told me you were from there, but he didn't tell me you were living in the States. Oh, okay. Ferguson or Gaethje? Ferguson, but that is going to be a tough fight. Bro, I am so excited for those fights tonight. I am not looking at anything. I'm not looking at my DMs, Instagram, nothing. Fuck that. I'm going to be watching every single fight tonight. I just have a lot of stuff to do in the day. Hopefully I get some pictures up today because I finally got a haircut after like 2 months. Nah, like a month and a half. But yeah, it's like, like use these conversations now as pretty much like it's the weekend, right? We did our work in the charts, right? Whether it was successful, whether it was bad, whether it was extremely shitty or it was extremely good, you just got to realize like the weekend is either for you to study, not obviously not study the whole time, but it's also for you to go enjoy your time. Like you can't just be stuck to this stuff because it's really bad for you. Like I used to be on this stuff all day every day, and there just came a point where I just popped and I just didn't want to do anything with charts, and that's why I took my break in December because I was literally on this. I was on this each and every day. Yeah, it's so important to stay away and chill. Like, for all I know, go hit the hookah or something, bro. Like, go enjoy your life. Who cares if you can't go outside? Just go find something to do. Oh yeah, you see, you can't hit that, Alex. You're like what, 16? You can't hit that, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're too young to hit that stuff, bro. It's bad for your lungs. You see, I can't see that emoji. Like y'all are sending an emoji, but I can't see it. Always bullying Alex, yeah, because that's my kid. That's my son. Oh. Yeah, but you see, Rav, you see the difference? Like, Alex doesn't talk back to me, but you do. So it's like, I don't do it to you because you don't talk back to me. Well, I mean, because you do talk back to me, but Alex doesn't. So it's like, you know, I will always give you shit. Hell yeah. And I'm still waiting on my Gucci's, bro. Yeah, so since Rav is becoming like top one marketer, top 10% marketer, it's like he wants his Gucci shoes. So I'm like, nah. But yeah, I mean, do you guys have any questions? I mean, or else I think we're done for today. I mean, it's been, so we started at 8:30. It's been like 40 minutes. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, my new guys, make sure you're just going through the course first before you start asking me stuff. But I mean, don't worry, I will answer your DMs within 24 hours. Usually, like, I like to answer them on the spot because I'm on my phone 24/7. But yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stop the recording.